Welcome. Today we are looking at Arch and Flatten, but we're going to take Arch and Flatten to the next level. We're assuming you've already met Arch and Flatten, but we are going to play with the diagonals in Arch and Flatten. So this is Sarah. Welcome.
Hello.
So in the beginning, just bring yourself into Arch and Flatten. Sarah, just let that happen. The arch is when she's exaggerating the arch in the lower back. The flatten is when she's exaggerating the flatten in her lower back. The movement is kind of coming from the feet. It's a beautiful midline movement to start your practice with, and just to have this sort of somatic awareness as to how you are today. So as you're working through here, we're looking for fluidity, less effort, more ease. And now as you do this, and there was a little bit of shaking there, you might have spotted, which is kind of cool. Anytime that there's a little bit of shaking, that's cool, because that is your playground. As you're working through this, Sarah, do you notice, is there one side maybe up your waist that is lower or tighter or stiffer or higher or more caught?
Yeah, I think this side is higher and this side is lower.
So put your hand on the higher side, so in at the actual top of the leg. Perfect. Yeah. So top of the leg, if you imagine what our pelvis is like, we want to then take the diagonal, which was going to be at the hip bone, at the opposite hip bone. So if you place your other hand there, so just actually on the hip bone. So what she's doing is it's something like this, top of the leg, top of the hip. So it's where the hip bone and the leg bone meet versus where if you're putting your hands on your hips. They're two angles in the pelvis. And from there, then what you're going to do is you're going to rock diagonally. So a minute ago you were rocking midline. Now you're going to rock diagonally. What that's going to look like is pressing in under this hand and then pressing in under the diagonal. So it's going to put those fingers more in here. Yeah, and then diagonally. So over this way. And then to this one. So this is the pelvis. We just want the pelvis moving, not everything else. You just imagine you've got the bowl, and we've been doing the bowl this way a minute ago. Now we're just kind of doing a little rock, a little diagonal rock with the bowl. So the pelvis is the bowl pressing down. So you're pressing into the tightness, and then you're pressing into its diagonal opposite. The knees are not, we're not looking to, let me show you what you're not looking to do. Let the next time, let the knees travel as if, see, that would be taking the whole pelvis off the ground versus taking the whole pelvis off the ground. So that's not what we're doing. It's very specifically just the pelvis. If you were here where I am, you'd also see that there is an impact on her shoulders, there's an impact on her knees, but really it's just the diagonal that we're looking for. Down on one side, down on the other side. In the beginning, it's great fun trying to find that in your body. As you can see, Sarah was struggling there for a minute. And that's why I'm suggesting you place your hand on it. So you're pressing into your hand and pressing into your hand. It gives you that somatic feedback. So it's down and then down. So I'm making this diagonal kind of shape, only flat on the ground. 3 is plenty. Sarah's done a lot more than 3 at this point. So then you switch to the opposite. So the opposite, she was here. She's now going to here, to where your bowl is. Mm-hmm. She was here. She's now going to here, to the top of her leg, where the leg is joining the pelvis. So more onto the pelvis, so right into the crease there. So it's your pelvis you're rocking, not your leg, yeah? Okay. And then you're going to do the opposite. Now this is cool. Wait till you see this. Oh, she's able to do it. No, she's not. Yeah, she's kind of. It's so cool. Because what we do is, with all of our somatics, is we go into our pattern. So the first time she was going with the way her body wanted to go. This time it's going the opposite. So it's going to be hard for her body to figure out which, under the hand, and then under the hand.
Oh.
And then under this hand, and then under this hand.
I can feel that way more in my knees, like my knees.
Yeah, your knees are trying to go with it. The freedom isn't available currently in the pelvis. And the legs are trying to do, because your brain is so cool. Your brain tries to get your body to do whatever you instruct it to do. And so now do it less. Okay. Always whenever you're getting a little bit of getting caught, just do less. So it'll be this tiny, tiny little rock across the diagonal. And she can't even feel it. I can see in her face she can't find her diagonal. So there's your hip bone. Mm-hmm. And then this way. Just... that's what you're doing. Yeah, nice. So a lot less. Less is more in all of these. And again, just 3 movements. How is that?
Way better.
Brilliant. You only need to maybe do about 3. So then whenever you're finished, go back to midline. Do your arch and flatten again and see if it's any different. I'm just getting a pelvis. I should have had it with me at the start. But how is that for you, Sarah, as you do your midline arch and flatten?
Oh, that feels way nicer again now. Yeah.
Cool. So have you got any language for the way nicer?
It just feels much freer.
Freer.
Yeah.
Freer. Exactly. Because what's happening is that we have our patterns, whatever our patterns our patterns are. And then if we can free up and release more, have more choice, then she has a much, much cleaner, much clearer midline.
Clearer, that language works really well.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it feels like.
Brilliant. So while Sarah's there, I'll give you a little look at the pelvis. So if we have our pelvis, if we imagine that this is our pelvis at neutral, what we are doing is we typically are slightly off. So one hip is typically slightly higher, one leg is so we are typically slightly off. What we are doing then, if you're in this position, lying down, it means that there's some kind of a twist going on, there's something slightly off. Where you are working from is the diagonal. So when we're doing an ordinary arch and flatten, you're literally tilting the pelvis this way. Literally midline the pelvis. And it's just this tiny little arch and flatten. But once we go to the diagonal, instead of going midline, we're literally just going this tiny little diagonal. So you can see how little the movement is, but this is when you put your hand on your hip and you put the other hand at the ball and socket. So to get that diagonal going, you do that diagonal and then you do the opposite, which will free out all of your SI joint, free out a lot of these muscles that are in here, so that then you are much freer. Even poor old Walter feels freer now to go midline. Have some fun with it.